Hello, everyone. Hi, how are you? I'm doing well. You know why I'm doing well? Because I go to sleep at 9 p.m. That's why I'm doing well. And the only reason I go to sleep at 9 p.m. is because I bed share. So I have a 5-year-old on one side and a 7-year-old on the other. And it's the most cuddly thing ever. And then I think, well, once they fall asleep, I'll get up and do something or write or watch a movie. And I just end up falling asleep. So I sleep like 9, sometimes 10 hours a night. And I need that. I think that women need more sleep than men. There's no evidence to support this. It's from the men I've talked to. They don't seem to need as much sleep. And I do feel like I've seen a few TikTok videos talking about that. So I posted an Ask Me Anything and y'all came in hot with the questions and I'm going to answer your craziest ones. But first, let me recap my weekend a little bit for you, bestie. So Saturdays, my ex has the kids one night a week, overnight, on Saturday nights. So I look forward to Saturday nights. As a single woman, I have been obsessed around my live show. And so I will watch really inspiring specials and write and just pour into myself. And it's amazing. It's amazing to just get time to myself, especially at night. As much as I adore my kids, that one night a week has really become sacred to me. And, but this Saturday, Poppy, my 5-year-old, was like, Mom, I really want to sleep at your house tonight. And she never says that. She's normally so excited to go to her dad's. And I gave her like 5 different opportunities. I was like, are you sure? Because sometimes she changes her mind. And I know he wanted to, see her too. But she just kept insisting that she wanted to have a whole mommy-daughter day and night and a sleepover too, with just the two of us. And so I text my ex and he was like, of course, like if that's what she wants. And so I was like, guess what? Mommy-daughter night. And we had the best time ever. It was the best date ever. We went to this we found a new random restaurant, this vegan restaurant, like 30 minutes away, and got all sorts of food. And she was so excited. And it's so funny at restaurants, she likes to pretend to be an adult and she'll be like, excuse me, can we please get some extra napkins here? And she loves to pay. Like she just loves to do all the things and talk to the waiter. And then at the end, when we leave, she's like, thank you so much, everyone, and have an amazing weekend. Like really loud though. And the whole restaurant was just like, oh, because she's like this little 5-year-old. And it's just so cute. Anyway, so we had this great dinner and then we went to go see Sheep Detectives, which it was so much fun. Such a great movie. And it's interesting because it was PG. And I looked up the age and they said like 8 was the youngest. And I was like, I don't know, like it's PG, it's a murder mystery. But we watched the trailer together and she was like, that looks really interesting. And I was like, I think she could do this. So we go, it's a full packed theater and she was fully engaged the entire time, literally whispering to me being like, I think the daughter did it. You know what? No, I think the reporter did it. Wait, hold on. There's 2 murderers, right? So it could be the old lady and the daughter. And we were just talking back and forth about, who done it. And it was the best thing ever. And we just, inhaled the popcorn, had a little candy. And then at the end of the movie, they play the, and I would walk 500 miles and I would walk, that one. And she just gets up. They start playing the music really loud and she gets up, fully packed theater, runs in the front of the theater and just starts fully dancing, just full commitment. Like she takes ballet jazz now. And she has a recital coming up, and they're doing a dance to If You Want to Be My Lover by the Spice Girls. And so I don't know if she's just like in that mode now, but she just ran up and was like, come on, let's dance, and gets up and starts fully dancing. And it was so cute. And people were just like, oh my gosh. And then there's like this group of teenagers sitting in the front row, and they like totally left halfway through to go smoke weed, and then like came back and they were like, oh yeah. Like it was just really funny and nostalgic to see these like teenagers in the front row up to no good. But then after the movie, when the song came on, Poppy was dancing and they got up and started dancing with her. And it was so cute. I just loved the whole thing. Yeah. And then we came back, and I don't know, it was just the best night ever. And I think, you know, being a sibling to someone with a disability can be so challenging, I'm sure. In fact, if any of you are listening or watching and you have a sibling with special needs or a disability, how was that experience for you? What do you wish that your parents did differently? And how do you feel that experience shaped you? For Poppy, I mean, I see such maturity and emotional intelligence, patience, empathy. And even at school, the teacher told me she gravitates towards more neurodivergent kids and like includes them and plays with them. And she's not like weirded out or scared off by nonverbal kids. Like she just plays with them and accepts them. But it's also challenging for her. And I don't ever ask her to be the adult. It's just sometimes she just kind of takes on that role of like, she'll see him dysregulated and just immediately go into, you know, Alfie, you know, use your words. Oh, Alfie's dysregulated right now, you know, save hands, Alfie. You know, it's okay to be mad, but we don't kick, right? And I think she wants my attention sometimes. And like right now, I cannot leave him unattended. I just cannot. He just is so smart and independent, but like he's also very mischievous. Like right now, if I'm in just the next room, you know, talking to my friend, I had my friends over on Sunday, and I'm just like trying to have a salad with my friend Holly, and he's like in the kitchen and I'm in the dining room, but I can hear what's going on. And then all of a sudden I just hear something fall, and I go out, and he's like super into like throwing fruit. He thinks it's so funny to like throw tomatoes. I'm like, what are you, just a heckler? Like, what is happening? He just throws tomatoes and laughs hysterically, but he knows he shouldn't. So I was like eating my salad, and he poured out a thing of pineapples. And I'm like, Alfie, that's wasting. You know, do we throw food? Yes or no? No, we don't. Okay, so let's pick it up. Wash it, and put it back in the fridge. And he picks it up, and we wash it, and we put it back in the fridge. Or he'll pour out other, you know, almonds, thinks that's hilarious. Pour out a bag of almonds. That's $10. Like, and he knows he shouldn't. And so I said, let's sweep it up and throw them away, because there's kind of no washing roasted salted almonds. They're kind of done. And then I started thinking, wait a minute, is this attention seeking? Like, it's when I'm playing with Poppy or talking to a friend that he'll decide to pour out a thing of food onto the floor. And then what happens? He gets all my attention. We clean it up together. If it's like small bits of popcorn left or something, he gets this broom. He sweeps, you know, the almonds, the popcorn, whatever the he threw. He'll sweep it all up, put it in the trash with a smile on his face. Then he gets out the vacuum, plugs up the vacuum, vacuums up all the remaining food. And I'm like, wait, this is like a fun thing for him. He gets to pour out food, laugh, gets mommy's attention, then gets to use cool products like brooms and vacuums. He likes doing that. He likes sweeping. He likes vacuuming. He likes cleaning. Oh, and even more fun, if he pours something on the floor with liquid, like the pineapple juice, he gets to use cleaning spray, which is so much fun. And then wipe it all up and throw that away. So I'm like, oh, this is like a fun game for him. And he's just going to keep doing it because he doesn't even see this as a natural consequence that he has to clean it up. He likes cleaning it up. So what is your advice for me here? What I was thinking was, do I just sort of ignore that, ignore the throwing, which is, I think, ABA. That is ABA. But I'm not ignoring like him crying. I'm ignoring the bad decision, right? So if he pours the pineapple out on the floor, I just ignore it, pick it up, clean it, and then, no, that doesn't feel right either. Because I'm like, is it attention that he's seeking? What do I do? What do you do? So anyway, like I feel like I can't leave the room. So then Holly and I just move into the kitchen where he is, and I can just keep my eye on him. Oh my God. So he's very mischievous. Oh, and by the way, just like a little update on the fridge. I know I said like he climbed it, but no, if you look at the fridge, the fridge gate, people are saying it's so dumb. If you look at the fridge, it's like in the cabinetry. So there, you can't actually climb it, but I think he was probably pulling on the handles. But I'm sorry, a 7-year-old should not be able to pull down on a 600-pound fridge and it come out. It should have been properly installed. That's another story. I have a lawyer working on that. And did you guys see the video in 2024 of a fridge nearly falling on a blonde woman with a young daughter in the kitchen? And it's the exact same fridge. I messaged her, by the way. So yeah, so that was it. How did we get onto this? Oh yeah, being a sibling of a special needs kid. So I think that one-on-one time is so important for my daughter. I also think it's important for my son too. Like it's just, you get to connect so deeply with that one-on-one time. So yeah, so that was my weekend. And then of course I had my friends over swimming, and that was also so much fun. And my back, you guys, it happened last Tuesday. So it's been nearly 2 weeks since the incident. And I gotta say, my back, it hurts. I went swimming yesterday and my dumb ass was like, because I thought swimming's gentle, like swimming is what you do, right? When you want to gently work out. And so I was like, wanted to be fun mom and like cannonball. And I just like did a sort of half jump in with my legs up. And that was such a mistake. Because right when I did that, the pain in my lower back really was sharp. And I was like, God, why? I'm a idiot. Like, I just thought it was getting better. I could finally drive after a week and a half. I could drive. I could, I have to obviously be careful, but like, I'm okay. I'm going to physical therapy right after this. But I stupidly did like a half. I didn't even do a full cannonball. I just like lifted my legs up a little when I jumped in, and it was like, oh, that was a mistake. Big old mistake. Anywho, so I'm going to answer some of your questions. Okay. Erica says, what are your most game-changing organization hacks with young kids in the home? I'm a type B mom. Okay. So I'm going to ask you that. What are your most game-changing organization hacks with young kids in the home? Can you tell me? Because I need help. I don't know how to spell organize, let alone organize. Let alone organize. I need your help. What are your top hacks? Because this type B mom is struggling. Sean says, can I do a podcast with you? I'm pretty hysterical. Yes, you can. You can absolutely do a podcast with me. All you have to do is subscribe to my Patreon, patreon.com/Laura Clary. You can subscribe for free. And though if you're a paid member, you get priority. We prioritize your stories. If you're an annual member, you're right at the top, but we will read every single story. And we're having real people with real stories on. All you have to do is subscribe to my Patreon, patreon.com/Laura Clary. And you, Sean Tinks, can be on my podcast. CJ says, what type of guy do you look for when dating? I can't even think about that because I think I'm just so up. I need therapy, which I have tomorrow. I have my first appointment with a psychologist because I'm replaying that stupid night over and over. But I went through a really traumatic divorce. And so dating is just not something I'm interested in right now. Being in a relationship is something I'm just not interested in right now. So but I guess like if there was a world in which I was, I can't. Isn't that funny? I'm so blocked that, they have to be funny. Funny is huge. Funny, smart, kind, honest, creative, independent. And they have to love themselves because if they don't love themselves, they actually can't love you. They just will leech off of you and expect you to make them happy. And that's impossible. I don't believe in the whole, like, we're two halves and we make each other whole. No, that's codependent. I know because I was in that for years. Yeah, but no, thank you. My friend is dating now. She just got a divorce. They're like in the process, but whatever. And so she's dating again and I'm living vicariously through her. She's just telling me the craziest and most amazing, fun, passionate, sexy dates. We're at this weird age, 39, 40, where like you can date someone in their 20s, you can date someone in their 50s. You can date the son or the father. It's a really fun age. I'm not participating in that, but my friends are, so I get to live vicariously through them. If you are, I don't know why I don't like the way middle-aged sounds. If you're a woman, a middle-aged woman, 30s, 40s, have you experienced dating younger men? What was your experience with younger men versus older men? Because we're at this really fun age where you can date from 20s to 50s or your age, but there's just a very wide spectrum of men. But what's your experience and which one do you prefer? Also, bisexual women out there, what's your experience? What do you prefer right now? What's your top pick? Okay. So Laura Curtis says, when did you first notice autistic traits in your son? What age was he? So this was right before he was 2 years old. My son had about 5 words: mommy, daddy, milk, monkey, doggy. And then those words kind of went away. He stopped talking. I remember he stopped looking at us. He barely smiled. He'd have hour-long meltdowns. And it was just all of a sudden very clear something was wrong. When I looked online, everything pointed back to autism. At the time, autism wasn't even trending. Can you believe it? Ain't nobody was talking about it. Now, it's everywhere, but it wasn't then. So scary, and I didn't know. And there were other signs, like he wasn't pointing and clapping. And if he wanted something, he wouldn't point to that thing. He would take your hand and lead you to the thing. which he'll still do. It's called hand leading, and he still does it. I think it's a very gentlemanly thing to do. He takes your hand and he leads you to whatever it is that he wants or wherever he wants to go. And it's really cute. And in fact, hand leading is how I got him to say mommy for the first time. Well, the first time after the regression. So one day he comes up to me and he takes my hand to lead me to the kitchen probably. And I didn't go with him. And he pulled at me. What are you doing? You know I'm hand leading you. What are you doing? And I said, mommy, mommy. And I wouldn't go with him. And he pulled and he pulled. And I said, mommy, mommy, mommy. And he pulled and he pulled. And then finally he pulled again and went, mommy. And I went up. I got up and I went with him. And then after that one word, it was, mommy, come. So he pulled at my hand and I wouldn't go. Mommy, come. Mommy, come. Now, if I knew about Gestalt language processing then, I probably would have said, mommy, come here. And maybe he would have been able to just say that sentence because they learn in chunks. But I didn't know that at the time. So I just did one word at a time. Anyway, if you have a nonverbal kid and they hand lead, that's one great little tactic that worked for me. I learned that from a child development therapist because he had all sorts of early interventions. And that one was huge. Yeah. Mariliz Clifton Smith says, act like we don't know who you are at all. How would you introduce yourself? Hi, I'm Laura. Yeah, I make silly things on the internet. I'm a mom to two amazing kids. I love to take walks and do yoga and be silly and goofy and hang out with my friends. I'm a recovering alcoholic, so I don't drink. Because if I have one drink, I'll have like 30 and then I'll want to go buy drugs. So I stay away from that. I think I have ADHD. I love my family. I'm just a normal old girl from the Midwest. I'm from right outside Chicago. I was a really bad kid growing up. Not bad, but I would get in a lot of trouble. And then I discovered writing and comedy, and I just became obsessed with that since like 9 years old or something. And I just focused on that. And then I was like, okay, that's just what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. That's kind of it. I don't know. Maybe I don't have a filter too. And I think that's been why I have like the following I do. That's part of it, not all of it. It's because I just say everything, probably too much. Okay. Sylvia says, can we be besties? Yes, bitch. Where do you live? I'm going on tour in the fall and I want to come see and meet all of you. Andrea says, how do you cope with having an autistic son? I have an autistic 5-year-old and I have days where his behavior gets so bad I can't handle it. Andrea, I wish I could give you a big old hug right now because I totally relate and identify with that feeling of overwhelm and that constant fight or flight. I was with my daughter. I had some one-on-one time with my 5-year-old who is not autistic. And it's like such a different experience. They're both amazing in so many ways, but man, I could just relax when I was with her. We could just sit at dinner and my shoulders relax, my jaw unclenched, and I could just hang out. And I just knew she wasn't going to book it out the door or throw a glass of water across the restaurant because she heard a noise that she didn't like and she couldn't express it. And it was like night and day. I just couldn't believe the difference, and to just be with her all night and all day and all night, just her. And I was like, oh my God. And I'm not saying that parenting a more neurotypical child doesn't present its own challenges. I'm sure that it does, but oh my God, I could breathe. It was like so insane. So I guess to answer your question, I think having support, like just even yesterday, I told my friend Holly, like, we just were trying to have a conversation and I couldn't. I felt so bad. I was like, I'm sorry. I can't have this conversation with you because I have to have my eyes on my son at all times. Like, I can't do this. And she could see me getting flustered. And I was like, I feel like I'm in fight or flight all the time with him because I'm so scared that like he's going to hop the fence or like, just destroy something or whatever. You just don't know, like just get into some sort of trouble. So like, you just can't take your eyes off them for 1 second. And I think just expressing that to her and like, she just heard that and like came in the room with us and just understood. So I think having support, like having friends who understand, having a therapist, being able to vent about the frustrations without like being like, oh, I'm, not grateful or don't love my son. Of course, that's not true, right? But we're allowed to vent and we're allowed to talk about the struggles. So I think that's very helpful. And then again, just like, we're not meant to do this alone. We're really not. So, fighting for respite care. So to give yourself those few hours where you can take time for yourself, because sometimes it's just like 2 hours to yourself is all you need. And then you're back and ready to go, but just not trying to do it all yourself, doing everything you can to get that support, get those extra services for your kid. And then also, like, I know this sounds really cliche, but just like focusing on what's right. What are their strengths? What's going right? What improvements are happening and like just celebrating those, but I know it can just feel so overwhelming at times. I would say just support is the main thing, and also like the rules. Like for years, I attempted them to sleep in their own beds and they would for a time, but then my son would like come out in the middle of the night, like screaming, crying. And finally I was just like, just come in my bed. And he sleeps 10, 12 hours a night, every night. And we all sleep better. So whatever, do what you have to do to have peace in the house, Also, and then I'll shut up on this because I keep talking about it, but for my son, who's a sensory seeker, as many sensory seeking activities as you can do, whether it's swimming, walks, scooter. So I have like a spinny chair, a little indoor trampoline, an outdoor trampoline. I've got like a climbing rope in my backyard, whatever, water, like just so many. Swing is huge. Swing is how I got him to use words too. I would sing to him while I was swinging him and then he'd fill in the words. But that I find regulates them a lot. The thing that I'm struggling with now is diet. Like he is so addicted to sugar. Like I try my best to have him eat healthy and he does have some healthy things, but like he'll ask me, Whole Foods, grocery shopping, Whole Foods. Mommy, go to Whole Foods, grocery shopping with Whole Foods. And when he uses sentences like that, I'm like, oh, how can I not? And then he takes the little basket and he gets his like vegan mac and cheese and like his popsicles and his dark chocolate and like popcorn or like whatever, salt and vinegar chips. Like he just like goes through the aisles. He loves to buy berries. He goes to the berries section. He just goes, yee, and he's so excited. He goes, these are strawberries. These are raspberries, blueberries. Yeah. Pineapple. Yeah. Mango. Yeah. And he wants to get all the berries. the funny thing is he doesn't eat them. He is so interested in berries and fruit, but he's not eating fruit right now. He won't do it, but he wants to buy them and he wants to look at them. And then he takes out the blender and he puts frozen berries and fruits and water and he blends. He knows how to use the smoothie and he'll blend, make a berry smoothie and a fruit smoothie. And then he will smell it, but he won't drink it and he won't eat it. But it's almost like he's working himself up to it. He loves the smell of it. He loves to look at it. He loves to make stuff with it, but he won't actually. And then I tried to put a strawberry on his mouth and he was interested and he almost put his teeth on it. And then he said, all done strawberry, all done strawberry, all done. That's the only thing he still says British is all done, all done. He goes, all done strawberry, all done. So I wonder any kids with restrictive, I think it's called ARFID, right? Or just who are restrictive eaters, how do you as parents get them to try new foods? What are your best tactics? I would love to know, because my son, though he does eat some healthy things, he's very restrictive and I put it on his plate. He will not touch new things. It's very difficult. He's been having the same vegan pesto chickpea pasta since he was 2 and he wants it every night. He now knows how to make it. And almond butter toast, Mary's Gone crackers, thank God, because that's also all like seeds and nuts. And so there's some healthy things that he likes, but it's very restrictive. So drop your tips below on that. Jenny says, can I platonically marry you? That sounds lovely. That sounds absolutely lovely. I'm way more interested in flirtatious friendships than an actual relationship. It sounds just perfect. Christy says, did you get any of the firemen's numbers? No, but I did think they were hot. There's something about a man in a uniform. Oh my God. I was at coffee with one of the moms from my son's school the other day, and these 2 firemen walked in their uniforms, and they weren't the ones from my incident. They were other ones. And we just stopped talking and we're like this. And then she looked at me and she went, I don't care. I'm a dog. It was just really funny. But I was thinking of going because I saw other firefighters, another cafe, and I went up to them and I go, hi, I just want to say that, and I showed him the video that people were offended by, but whatever, with the firemen in it. And I was like, these guys saved my life. I said, do you know them? And they go, oh yeah, we heard about that. We heard about the fridge gate. They go, we heard about that. No, they're in and they told me the fire department that they're a part of. So they knew of them, but they weren't in the same squad or whatever you call it. Anyway, so I was thinking of going there, and I don't know, what do you think I should do? Do I bring flowers to say thank you? I just want to say thank you to them. And is that weird and creepy if I go there with flowers? And then how many do I bring? Because there were 5 firefighters there and 3 of them were pushed the fridge off of me, but then there were more there. And do I just bring them all in flowers? Is that creepy? Do I bring them chocolate? And then I was like, I can ask them if they want to be on my podcast and just share stories. Cause I'm sure this was just another Tuesday for them. This was nothing. They were so casual about it. I told you the one guy, when they pushed me off the fridge, he was like, oh no way, I watch your videos. Have you guys seen her videos? They were just casual. And because they just are breaking down doors and saving lives every day. So I was thinking that would be cool to just have them on my podcast and for them to tell crazy stories. They're such heroes. But anyway, tell me what you think I should do, because I don't want to be creepy, but I want to thank them again for saving my life. What's your favorite fun fact about yourself? Oh, well, this isn't my favorite, but it's just something weird. I think it's called hypermobile or just really flexible Actually, some people tell me that I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome in the comment. That's not the fun fact. I don't even know if I have that, but people just randomly will say that because I'll do videos where I'll have my legs behind my head and I'm just be talking randomly. And they're like, hey, that's not normal. We think you have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I'm like, cool. But anyway, this is something I do. I can take my thumb and bend it all the way back. And I know you're thinking, oh, I can do that too. No, you can't. Everyone goes, I can do that too. And they bend it this way. No. You got to bend it backwards, and don't try that because you'll break your hand. But look, and it touches my wrist. Can you see that? I should stop. Oh, I can also do this, but is this normal? Can you guys do this? Can y'all do this? And this is so bad. I had a friend who I lived with a long time ago, and she was like an actress / model. What do you know? Los Angeles. And I lived with her for a time. And then she like admitted to me that she was kind of like an escort, I guess. And one of the guys that she dated was like a billionaire, and he had like 16 girlfriends and she was one of them, but he would pay for her and her family to go on all these trips all over the world and like paid her rent and like her car and all this stuff. But she told me that he had one of his hands was a nub. Like it was like, it looked like this. And whatever, I'm not here to judge. My little Midwestern 19-year-old self was shocked though, because I never even heard of escorts being a thing. And I'm actually still kind of offended that no one has ever tried to pay me for sex. No one has ever, in all my time here in Los Angeles, been like, are you an escort? I even worked at a cigar bar for one time. Ain't nobody tried. I'm like, am I that awkward? No one even thinks I'm an escort? I'm offended. But anyway, she'd come home from her date with old billionaire, and I would just be like, hey, how was it? How was it? Did you have fun? Tell me about it. What'd you guys do? And she's like, Laura, stop. And I'm like, what? And she's like, stop. I'm like, you stop. Now, I don't know if that's offensive to people with nubs. I'm not trying, whatever. I apologize to anyone with a nub hand, or I don't even know what you call it. But that's just what I did. Vishaka says, what's one thing you've been procrastinating? Organizing my closet. I look in my closet and I don't like anything in there. I went through this really weird phase, and it's probably not good for the environment, where I would buy like what they call fast fashion. You know, like there's this one app called Cider, and they have really cute, like I have that one oversized t-shirt with all the cats on it, and I get so many compliments on it, and I love it. And it was like $15, 100% cotton. I love it. Anyway, but I went through this phase where I would buy like random shit, or I would see like a weird bodysuit jumpsuit on TikTok, and I'm like, yeah, I need that. And then I just look like Gumby, and I just never wear the shit. So I've got a lot of weird shit in my closet that I never wear, and I walk in there and just everything's disorganized, and I wear like the same 3 things. So my closet, I need to organize my closet. And I don't know if I'm ready to go full Marie Kondo and like throw everything on the floor and be like, does this bring me joy? Yes or no? So that's what I've been procrastinating on, is organizing my closet and organizing my kids' closets, because then Alfie comes out in these jeans that don't fit him anymore. And I'm like, why was that even in there? I should have gotten rid of those. And now he's like wearing jeans that don't really fit him, and he loves them and he doesn't want to take them off. So I just need to get rid of anything because they grow every 5 minutes. And people are like, what size shoes are your kids? I don't know, because their feet grow every 7 minutes. So I'll need to measure their feet again before I tell you. Fave song at the moment. I can't play it, but it's called In This Bee. Just look it up. It's so fun. I can't tell you. In This BIH. Please. It's really fun. And Poppy and I dance to it all the time. Okay. I love you guys. And thank you so much for watching. Oh, and just so you know, My third book is coming out in July. It's called What Doesn't Kill You Makes You Hotter. And it's like a micro memoir of the last 3.5 years of my life. It's about the unraveling of my marriage, divorce, post-separation abuse, dating after divorce, becoming a single mom. I wrote a bunch of crazy essays in there. The publisher at Simon & Schuster said it reads like a thriller, but it's also funny. I made sure to add jokes, okay, throughout. So you will be laughing and disturbed. But you can get it in the link below. And pre-ordering really helps. It gives me a chance to be on like the bestseller lists. Bestseller lists are all about pre-orders. So that's why they're so important because, you know, this list is really going to change my life, right? I've been on the lists, but I guess it's cool to be on a list. Not that list. Not that list. Not that list. It's not cool to be on lists anymore. Unless it's the New York Times bestseller list. That list I want to be on. All right. I'm going to go to physical therapy now. And I'm going to have to tell them that a fridge fell on me. And am I sort of like not looking forward to that? Actually, yes. Because I feel like I've told the story now 8,000 times. And it's my fault because I made it public. And now I walk into a cafe and they're like, oh my God, Laura, tell me what happened exactly. And then I have to tell them. And then I walk into another store and they're like, oh God, Laura. And then, you know, but it's again, I made it public. So now I walk around and I'm just like fridge lady for the month. And that's fine. But now I'm going to have to tell them and they're going to have to try to not laugh. And, you know, and then we're going to work on my lower back so I don't have chronic back issues for the rest of my life. And I'll keep you posted. Okay. Thanks for watching, everyone. And if you haven't subscribed and you're watching on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you get notified when a new episode is on. And if you want to be on my podcast, all you have to do is subscribe to my Patreon. You can do it for free. If you're, you know, low on cash, I get it, dude. So, and if you want to support me, there's a paid membership too, and you get extra stuff for paid membership. So it's whatever you're comfortable with. That's what you do. And it's patreon.com/Laura Clary, patreon.com/Laura Clary. And there's a submission form there where you can submit. It takes like 5 minutes to win the chance to be a guest on my podcast. Okay. All right. I'm going to go do physical therapy now. And I'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye.